Hi, I'm Mick Garvey. Welcome to episode 25 of the Shooting Country TV hunting series. It's a bit of an early set off as compared to normal. We're going down to check a piece of land that we've been on before. There's a few rabbits been knocking about, reported by the landowner, who's, if you may remember, he takes care of horses, a bit of a rehabilitation centre. He thinks he may have seen something acting a little bit strange, just hanging around and like not being very active. To me, it smells of mixer. So we're going to go down this morning. We're going to check it out, check the land out, see what's knocking about. I've got the thermal spotter. We'll see what's in the area. Get a bit of a plan together, and then we're going to return tonight after we've had a reconnaissance trip this morning. So hopefully we'll have some interesting footage for you later. Right, while we're there, we're going to check out the lay of the land. Obviously, for the last few days we've had nothing but torrential rain. The last 2 weeks we've had a couple of storms blowing. The ground's holding water all over the place. So we need to be in areas all over the fields tonight. We need to check them out, make sure there's no pitfalls, nothing we've got to be something we've got to be aware of, that we're not going to end up stepping up to us wasting water. So it's just checking out the land, making sure we're all safe, and seeing what's what. You can't be too safe. I mean, a daytime's reconnaissance is worth 2 nights blind shooting for me. So it's something we've got to do just to be safe. Hi, we've now arrived at our permission. This is a horse rehabilitation centre. It does work on horses when they need it. It's an ongoing job for me with the rabbits, but I had a call from him the other night, and he's seen a rabbit acting a little bit strange, wandering around a little bit lost, and it sounds like it's mixy to me. So we've come down today just to check the place out. If you can see it today, we'll take it out in the daytime. I've got a feeling it'll not be today when we see it, probably later tonight. We also come to check the area out. As you can see behind us, there's a new lake appeared. This has appeared almost overnight. The rains we've had recently have been absolutely horrendous. So, and I've said it a million times before, you've got to check out your surroundings. You've got to know where you are. You've got to know any hazards. Hazards are generally there all the time, but there's certain hazards will turn up overnight, such as this. And when we get onto the fields, there's going to be areas that are going to be pulled with water, and you've got to be careful when you're walking around there at night to make sure you know where they are. So a day's wrecking will work wonders for you. You can go and check it out, make sure there's no hazards, you're not going to fall down or anything, and everything's still in the same place it was before, because the amount of water that's come down can wash trees, branches, logs and everything down the field, and you can end up tripping over if you're not keeping an eye on yourself. So, like I say, you can see the amount of rain we've had recently, just for this little bit of a flooding here. We're heading this way, and we're going to check out the fields and see what's out there, and see if we can actually spot this mixy rabbit during the daytime. But we'll be back tonight, and I think it'll be tonight when we get it. So we're going to start heading that way right now. Right, this is the plan of attack for tonight. We're going to come through from the house. We're going to come round the front of the stables, and we're going to get to this. This will be his first point of contact here. This field is generally where they come through. They'll come through the field adjacent to us, through the wall, into this field here. There's a rotunda walker up there. They don't go into that, but they'll come through this and they'll walk into this other like walking area. And usually that's a good spot for them. The grass is quite short, and it's usually cut quite short, so the rabbits are generally in there. Plus they usually around this area, so we've got a perfect example of where, of some cover and how to cover your movements. We'll come around the front of the stables, we'll not be seen, we can get to the fence, we've got a rest, and we can scan this area and see where we are. We'll take whatever we can from this area. Hopefully we're going to get that mixer, and then after we've checked this area and been here for a while, we'll carry on this path through into the next field and check all them. The farmer's going to be good enough to move the sheep and the horses out, so they're not being in his way, and they won't be spooking the rabbits about as and when we want to get on top of them. So that's the plan. This first, this walker, down this side is some more grass area, which has usually got a few rabbits on, and then when we've cleared this area, we'll be on to the next one through the gate. But obviously we need to walk close to the fence and to the walkers to cover as movements and mask any movement that we're making so as not to spook them. So we'll head that way now, and we'll see what's on the other side. Right, as I was saying earlier about trip hazards, this is sort of thing when it's pitch black. All right, you'll pick it up with a thermal, but if you're not looking in the right direction, you might know it's there. But if you're not got your eyes on it, that's the sort of thing that'll have you over on your face. And as you can see, all the supports go all the way down here, so you need to be really careful. I can't emphasise enough how important it is to know your area, not just your backdrops for your shots, but where you're going to be walking. Something like this could end in that evening quite quickly, and it could end up badly. So check it out, see where you're going, and see what the possible hazards are. While we're here, I think you can see there's looks like someone's been chewing. There's some new fences being put up because of the wind stuck that out, and this is where the rabbits were getting in. So now they'll move from here to somewhere else, but you can still see all the way down here. There's gaps all the way down. There's one big enough here to get a rabbit through. There's quite a few all the way down, so that's what we need to be looking at. You've got to work out where they're coming from and how they're getting into that. They do come from the other side, and they will come from this side, from this wooded area, into this walking area. Knowing where they come from gives you the ideal opportunity to be able to be sat in the vantage point to ambush them when they do come in. So if you know where they're coming in, you can get yourself positioned, ready to take advantage of your knowledge you've gained by being on top of it beforehand. Right, 2 minutes into walking around less than 2 minutes walking around the walker. First bit of digging we've found, you can see this is where they're digging into here, into the walker, and obviously that's, you know, like I say, a bit of reconnaissance is paying dividends. This is damage they're causing all the way down here. I'm looking behind me now, I can see other areas it's being dug and being chewed through. So not just because if there is mix, but the rabbit's causing that much damage now, we need to get rid of them. This is obviously a problem for the landowner. You don't want to be replacing these every 5 minutes. We'll carry on walking, see what other damage we've got, and then see if we can find any more points of entry. Then we could work out a plan for tonight where we need to be. Right, just another point of interest. You can see there's a bit of a track worn all the way down here. Now there's no reason for the landowner or any of his staff to walk down here. They won't come down here. So this is caused by rabbits. You can see this is another point of entrance. They'll come that way and in this way or that way back from here. But you can see this track goes all the way around and back towards the wall where we said before. And it's just going to be another highway. It's like we've had with the squirrels. They find their own highway where they want to be, and this is a well-worn track. There's no tracks here because it's been raining that heavily, but this is rabbits without a doubt. And as you can see, the track actually goes that way, so they've come from under the fence as well. Either way, more diggings down the bottom of the fenceway here, more damage to the fence, more reason to get these rabbits under control.
3, 2.
Right, this is going to be our second port of call tonight. Once we come through the stables, check that area out. We'll keep to the wall, which you can see behind us. We'll walk along that wall, keep us mask his movements, then we'll walk towards this fence. And we've got a perfect elevated position looking into this grassy area of this walking area. We're on the tripod as well, so we're up in the air, not resting on the fence. Anything that's in there, we should be able to we'll easily pick out with a thermal. And in the past, my experience tells me there's always a couple in there that we can take out. Once we've done that, we'll clear off and we'll head further up into the fields.
Go for it, mate.
Right, another hazard that's quite easily overlooked and missed. Typical water butt feeding the animals, the sheep, the horses. Guarantee the land round it is always going to be worn away, and this is going to be full of mud, water, and also the odd boulder knocking around. You walk across here at night, if you're not concentrating on where you're walking, you can be over that, and same again, you can be down. Still electric fence around this area, something else you've got to be aware of. But it's something, you can see this a mile off when you're walking up through the thermal, you see the tank, and you just got to be careful, because you know it's going to be exposed, it's going to be muddy, it's going to be rutted, and any boulders and stones that's in there, it's going to be easy to walk and trip on. Just something else to be aware of. Right, we're halfway through this first field, and as you can see, waterlogged. Wellies are going to be order of the day for tonight. This could quite easily take your wellies off if they're bad fitting. You over the top of your boots, feet wet, you don't want none of that. Also to remember, electric fence. So if you were to stumble in the wet waterlogged ground, you grab the fence, I mean, another shock for you. So that's something else to try and avoid. Something else you've got to think about. Think about everything when you're out at night, because at night it's a completely different thing altogether. So you've got to be really careful, really careful. You owe it to yourself to make sure you know where you're walking and what the hazards are. But like I say, and we're at the top of the bank here. So this water, you can imagine what it's going to be like down at the bottom. So we'll walk on, we'll try the next field and see what lies in wait there for us. Right, we've made it down as way down from the top of the field down to the bottom. This is another area where I know there's quite a bit of activity. As you can see, there's rabbit droppings all over. There's actually a hollowed out tree into roots here. Rabbit droppings in there, so the rabbits are actually in there. And I'm assuming, I'm not sure, but they're definitely there, right into the roots. There's not much of this tree left, but it's still growing, there's still fresh growth on it. But as you can see, they're into that. Behind me, I know for a fact they're burrowing underneath this old container. You can see where it's been dug away there, and it's same down this side as well. You can see there's fresh turnings over there. So it's there's not as many as there used to be, because I've been on here quite often, but there are one or two. And again, if we've got the mixie problem, it's something we need to be taking care of. The rabbits just suffer badly with it. That's something we'll discuss and cover later. But this is two definite areas where they're into, and they come from this woods here. Now this wood here is a little bit flooded, so they'll not be spending too much time in there. So hopefully they're going to come in this way, and we'll be taking care of those tonight. As you can see, they're coming here. You see all the fresh diggings here, and as you look right in the corner, you can see where they're burrowing down. I'm going to say it's not going to be long before this probably subsides and drops in, so another reason we've got to keep on top of it. Dry as a bone underneath, but you can see the activity. It might not be a lot of rabbits that's doing this. It might be just a handful of them really in this area, but when it's a handful of rabbits, there's enough to cause all this damage and cause a problem. So as I keep saying, we've got to keep on top of them, and now we're going to add a reason if there is mixing in the area. Right, we're at the bottom of the hill now. I just want to point out, you can see the fence line at the top. It's quite a high elevation compared to where we are. It's double fenced, there's like a gap in between them both. The fence runs all the way down to the gate area and drops down again. But this is a perfect area for the rabbits to sit out and be aware of anything that's coming their way, anything that's going to be predate upon them, either us, foxes, anything that's going to bother them. They can smell, if the wind's in the right direction, they can smell them coming. Obviously they can hear them coming if the wind's in the right direction as well. But it's a perfect spot for them to hold up and just eat away, do what they're going to do, and just be aware of what's coming. We're going to walk on that fence line tonight, and anything that's actually in between the fence we can take the shot, and same as if down that area, that's ours as well. So anything that's in that little bit of a no man's land in between, we can take those shots. And hopefully the wind will be in the right direction and will not spook them too much. So Right, 7 o'clock. We had a bit of a recce today, and it's sorted out what the plan's going to be for tonight. It's going to take us about 15 minutes, 20 minutes to get to where we need to be. Nice and dark now. We, like I said, we had a bit of a recce today. Had a look round, didn't see one rabbit, which is not surprising. It's not really a daytime rabbit place, and down to the weather we've had recently, up until last night, then it's not surprising that we didn't see any. But hopefully we're going to they'll be out waiting for us when we get there, and we'll see if we can get this mixy one, which is quite important, and see what hopefully there's not any or too many with mixy as well, but we'll find out, and we'll do what we do best. Right, we've been here 2 minutes. I'm just scanning the area. I've got a fox in front of me. As you can see, I've got it on video. It's a great night for thermal. I'm just shaking a bit, trying to focus and zoom at the same time. But there you go. And it's coming towards me. And the shame is, I've only got the air rifle. It's still stood looking, it's inquisitive. It's straight out in front of us. See where the two trees are? You see between the tree and the frame and the old tunnel, it's traversing left now. It's behind the trees. It's running. It's up on the top now, by the top end of the sheep. When I first got it, I could see the sheep, and I just saw this face looking at me. Pointy face, pointy ears. I thought, that is no sheep. Yeah, well. So now we've got another mission. Sort the fox out. It has been bothering the chickens in the past. But anyway, I'll stop the video. There's not much can do with that tonight. Right, 2 minutes into the driveway, I scanned round. There's a fox in the field looking at me. Picked up on the Telos. Cracking image. It's a good night for the thermal. I'm just hoping that fox has not put us about for the rabbits. We're going to go through this gate now, and then we're going to scoot round the back of these stables, get to the other side, and have a clear look up towards where the fox has gone, and where there's usually 1 or 2 rabbits sat out, and it's going to mask his movements as we get round to that area. So we'll get ourselves up there, and we'll get the night started. What we'll do, we'll give it 5 or 10 minutes here. It creates a bit of noise coming through the gates. see if anything turns up. If it comes back to this area, it's nice lush grass this, the rabbits like it on here. I can hear folks calling in the distance. We'll give it 5 or 10 minutes here, see if anything turns up. If not, we'll walk through. We'll scan this area. This is where he's seen the mixie rabbit, or what we believe to be mixie rabbit. So hopefully, once we go into this grass area, get a better view that way, and we'll see what's what, and hopefully something will turn up. We've been here about 5 minutes already. There's nothing shown, but it's still early days. I'm just scanning around to give you a perspective of how well this thermal's working in these conditions. When the conditions are right, the thermal is absolutely tremendous. As I'm scanning around now, you see the houses in the distance, there's various barns, outbuildings, you can see the heat loss on the houses, different frameworks. There's a rabbit down there. I can see the way it's moving. It's nodding its head. It looks very lethargic. This looks like the one that's the one with the mixer. So this one's going down. Yeah, I can see it's nodding its head. Here we go. Down. Right. Before I pick that up, I'll just scan around, make sure there's nothing anywhere else. Right, that's the mixy one. I'm hoping there's no more. It's just skin and bones. You can feel it, as you feel its back, you can feel its spine, you can feel its ribs, you can feel almost all the way through it. It's an awful thing. Its eyes are puffed up. Got a photograph of it, just to show exactly what's what. It's not a nice thing to be looking at. Yeah, so almost mission accomplished. It was the first shot and within 10 minutes of being here. But we're going to travel around now and just see and what else is laying out, waiting out for us. I've just got that feeling that it's going to be, it's not going to be the only one in mixer. You get one, you get more than one. So we'll lay this down somewhere and we'll crack on to the next spot and see if we can get something else. Got another one sat out in front of us. We're inside this walker here. This is like the one we looked at earlier with the perimeter walking area. There's a rabbit sat out there now, probably 35 yards, piece of cake shots on it really. So just going to take that one before it goes. Nice one. That's number 2 gone. We'll go and get him. That one looked a little bit less lethargic. So there's no telling. Let's have a look. See, we'll go and get it. And see what its face tells us when we get it. Right, that's another one. Number 2 for the night. This one looks quite healthy, but it may take a few weeks for mix to become relevant in its face and features and various areas it's picking up the disease. Like I say, it looks clean, and like I said, I'm not too sure what it will be, but it's not going to be something I'm going to be eating myself or feeding to the dog. Right, we've just come through the gate and we're onto this fence, and hidden from us on the banking there's another rabbit. It's just above the fence line, so it's quite clear, not a problem shot, and I can get that quite easily. It's just over the top of the fence, and Lovely. Another one down. Quite a straightforward shot, that one. It was sat just to the side of the fence, hidden from us as we walked in here, but obviously it couldn't see us and we couldn't see it. Took it, nice headshot, just rolled over and it's down. So we'll pick that up in a minute, but we'll just scan around a little bit more, see if there's anything else about. Again, that one looked quite healthy, but it moving more normally than the first one we had. That's definitely got mixed here, but we'll check it in a minute when we pick it up. Do you ever get that feeling? Sometimes we're out in the night when it's pitch black, as if you're being watched. Oh, look at this. Every one of those sheep just stood there looking at me. I don't know if they're expecting feed or they're expecting for me to do a dance or whatever, but I just got that feeling. Got something as if somebody was behind me watching me, and there they were, all queued up, waiting to have a look at me. Right, that's to go around the fence, go around and climb over the fence to get to here. Bad news is, that's another one with Mixie. We'll get some photographs and let you see exactly what the Mixie means to everything, but looks like it might have got an outbreak here. We'll stay and see how many we can knock off. I think we've got to try and get as many as possible. The good things about Mixie is that when they're so lethargic and they're wandering around like almost in a daze, you can almost get on top of them. They're obviously blind at this stage. They really can't see anything, the sensors are going, and you can see the heads like nodding as if they're trying to focus their eyes, see where they're going, and they don't move out of the way. So it makes it relatively easy to get them knocked off, which is what we need to do. It's not a nice thing, and they need putting out of the misery. Like I said, that's what we're here to do. So we'll just carry on doing it tonight and see what we get. Sad days.